It's looking like video game adaptations are about to replace superhero films as Hollywood's most reliable way to print money. Films and TV shows based on video games have been notoriously awful for about as long as they've been getting made, to the point where critics could pretty much write their review of a new video game movie before they even watched it. But a lot of the early ones suffered from the same problem as a lot of early comic book films. They were embarrassed by their own source material.
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
As video games have become a more respected art form and their live-action adaptations have been handled by people with a deep love and appreciation for the games they're adapting, in some cases with involvement from the creators of the games themselves, these adaptations have gotten a lot better, and as a result, a lot more successful. When they service the fans, video game adaptations make a lot of money. Who could have guessed? The Last of Us is HBO's new hit show, the Super Mario Bros. Movie was almost as big a blockbuster as Barbie, the Sonic films are dependable moneymakers in spite of their aggressive mediocrity, and Five Nights at Freddy's managed to outgross The Flash, The Marvels, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods, despite having a much smaller marketing budget and a simultaneous release on Peacock the same day it arrived in theaters. Even the Uncharted movie, which failed to recapture even a sliver of the pulpy fun of the Uncharted games, made a bundle at the box office, although some of that can be attributed to residual No Way Home hype. So I think it's fair to say we'll be seeing a lot more video game adaptations in the next few years. There's already a Borderlands movie on the way, a Fallout series on the way, even a Minecraft movie. It's only a matter of time before we see movies or TV shows based on God of War, Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect, Metal Gear, and any other recognizable gaming franchise you can think of. One of the franchises that should be at the top of Hollywood's list of popular IP to adapt is the originator of its own subgenre, a historic hotbed of controversy, and one of the highest grossing properties in the history of commercial media, Grand Theft Auto. A GTA movie could easily go horribly wrong. The appeal of the games is less their narrative elements and more their unparalleled open-world environments and their seamless, silky smooth gameplay mechanics, which don't really translate to film. Narratively, the GTA games are pastiches of classic crime films. Vice City borrows from Scarface, GTA 5 borrows from Heat, and San Andreas borrows from hood movies like Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood. But if the GTA series gets a film adaptation and it ends up being just another generic crime movie recycling familiar tropes and archetypes from much better movies, not only will it suck, it will be a huge wasted opportunity. I have absolutely no filmmaking credentials, no real screenwriting credits to my name, and my extremely limited experience making student films would suggest I'm a long way away from mastering the basics of film production, let alone making something close to a great film. But in spite of all that, I'm going to go ahead and pitch my take on a GTA movie. I think any film adaptation of Grand Theft Auto needs to get the franchise's uniquely tongue-in-cheek satirical tone just right. It's more important to get the tone right than to get the specifics of the story right. I think with the game's tone, a GTA movie has the opportunity to do something totally fresh within the familiar framework of a crime film. It can mix the gritty feel of a sprawling crime thriller like The Departed or The French Connection with the crass, juvenile humor of South Park or Family Guy. GTA reflects a fractured, broken, almost dystopian America in a hilariously exaggerated way, and that's never been more relevant than in the past few years. I would start by adapting GTA 5. It's by far the most recognizable GTA game and the one with the most story material and fan-favorite characters to borrow from. I'm sure GTA 6 will be great and will be a huge hit in its own way, but 5 is already ubiquitous in pop culture, and if you start with 5 as the first movie, then you give yourself room to do 6 in a sequel. Heat was one of the biggest influences on the game, so I would model the movie on that, with an epic scope, a huge ensemble cast, and expert cross-cutting between different characters' perspectives. I would streamline the story to fit into a 3-act movie structure, with only the most exciting and essential plot points from the game's massive narrative. I'd cut out all the superfluous side missions, cut out Michael's career as a film producer and Franklin's career as a freelance assassin, as much fun as that stuff is, and maybe cut out a couple of the heists too. All the heist setup stuff could be shown in manic montages like Goodfellas to save time. I'd just focus on Lester getting the heist crew together and then raise the stakes as they run into trouble with the FIB and Merryweather. Just tell a dense, action-packed story about the unlikely friendship that blossoms between Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. I would keep Michael and Trevor's shared backstory because it's key to their relationship, and the revelation of that betrayal is a great twist that creates a rift between them at a crucial juncture in the main plot. But I wouldn't bother with the prologue in North Yankton. I'd just jump right into the Los Santos action with Michael DeSanto in witness protection, and gradually reveal his previous life as Michael Townley and his background with Trevor as the story unfolds. I'd tell the story largely through Franklin's eyes, so he can act as a sort of audience surrogate getting caught up on Michael and Trevor's history. I've personally never played either of the endings where a main character dies because I can never bring myself to kill them off, but I'd go with one of those endings in the movie so there's a real sense of stakes and consequences. The game is a three-hander, but I would make the film more of a two-hander, with the third hand playing a smaller supporting role. I would focus more on Franklin and Michael and make Trevor more of a side character. Trevor is great as an unpredictable wild card, but he doesn't work too well as a central figure to the story. He's a loud, obnoxious psychopath. You get a headache if you spend too much time with him, so he's better in small doses. Michael's family have a fun dynamic that's sort of similar to The Sopranos, and Franklin's ride-or-die friendship with Lamar would translate beautifully to a movie. In terms of heat, Michael and Franklin are your Pacino and De Niro. Trevor's fucking Waingro. Casting a GTA movie would be really fun. For Michael, you need to find someone who can handle the dark humor but will also nail the more dramatic stuff, like Colin Farrell or maybe even Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems mode. Michael B. Jordan would have been a perfect casting choice for Franklin a few years ago, but he might be a bit too old now, so you'd probably have to find someone younger, maybe John Boyega. Trevor's original voice actor Stephen Ogg is the only person I can imagine doing Trevor justice in live action. Gerard Carmichael would be perfect for Lamar's comic relief. Rainn Wilson has the perfect deadpan delivery style for Lester, and for Steve Haynes I would have said Armie Hammer was perfect if he wasn't a cannibal. For any GTA movie to succeed, it has to get the world right. Don't just set it in Los Angeles, that would be a cop-out. Set it in Los Santos and bring Los Santos to life with Burger Shot and the Vinewood sign. The GTA world isn't just America with all the names changed. The different place names are indicative of the game's satirical reinvention of America. GTA is set in a skewed America, a hyperbolic caricature of America, a country completely desensitized to senseless gun violence and rampant street crime, police who use ridiculously excessive force but are ultimately useless. If you're making a GTA movie, you need to really lean into that and capture that, show chaos on the streets. One of the things that made The Last of Us such a successful adaptation was that the world felt just as immersive and lived in the TV show as it did in the game. The world of GTA is much closer to the world we live in than the post-apocalyptic wasteland of The Last of Us, but any film adaptation of GTA needs to create the same sense of immersion. The various Los Santos radio stations give you countless opportunities for needle drops on the soundtrack. Cinematography-wise, as a GTA fan, I'd get a kick out of camera angles that recreate the feel of gameplay, like the way Bill Hader shot the dirt bike chase in Barry. Maybe include some of Franklin's slow-motion driving and Michael's slow-motion shooting with a dread slow-mo effect. Most of your time on GTA is spent trying to lose the cops, so a movie adaptation would need to have at least one mega-scale police chase shot in the style of Michael Bay's Ambulance. This would be a rare example of a gameplay component that could actually be more entertaining in movie form, because in the game, the absurdly competent and resourceful first responders coming at you from all angles with perfect aim are a total pain in the arse, but it would make for eye-popping spectacle on the big screen. Any potential GTA movie needs a hard R rating with completely uncompromising, bloody, graphic violence. Pretty much every single GTA game has generated a massive storm of controversy with its depiction of violence. Any film adaptation isn't really doing its job if it doesn't do the same. Look at Brian De Palma, look at Sam Peckinpah, these really stylish but also really shocking scenes of violence. The later GTA games have become very story-based and combat-based, but at their heart, they're driving games, and I think there's a really fun way to translate the unique vehicular gameplay into movie form. Heist films always have a bunch of scenes of characters driving, whether they're on a stakeout or tailing someone or heading to the job, so there would be plenty of opportunities for driving scenes in a GTA movie. In those scenes, have the characters driving recklessly from place to place, speeding and cutting corners and randomly running people over and never facing any consequences for it. If you're gonna make a GTA movie, you might as well make a GTA movie. It would be tricky for a stunt team to choreograph such comic recklessness in a safe and controlled way, but I bet the best stunt teams in the world would love the challenge. So there you have it, my pitch for a GTA movie. If any major Hollywood studios are watching and you like the vague and impractical ideas I've suggested, I'm available to flesh it out to a full screenplay, just say the word. Get in touch through the channel. My standard rate is a cool $1,000,000, but I'd be willing to drop that to 800,000 for the chance to put my stamp on this beloved franchise. Let's face it, you're gonna make a GTA movie sooner or later, and if you hire me to write it, you won't have the hassle of finding someone else to do it. Of course, if I take the 800,000, I'll want some back end. We'll have our reps hash it out. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.